Welcome to TOOMA Time, the home of the Talking Out of My Ass Award. Our award for this show goes to Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan for their absolute lies that they are getting away with.
You are the TOOMA.
Yeah! Now, seniors everywhere, please don't believe the lie regarding the $716 billion being taken away from your Medicare.
He stole $700 billion from Medicare to fund Obamacare. If any person in this entire debate has blood on their hands in regard to Medicare, it's Barack Obama.
The biggest, coldest power play of all in Obamacare came at the expense of the elderly. So they just took it all away from Medicare. $716 billion.
Think about that, by the way. There's only one president that I know of in history that robbed Medicare $716 billion.
On Medicare, for current retirees, he's cutting $716 billion from the program because of those $716 billion in cuts. $716 billion. You're going to see a $716 billion cut to Medicare, and the president supports taking $716 billion out of that program.
It doesn't touch any of your Medicare. None of it, as far as your benefits go. This was stuff that was taken away from the healthcare institutions and the insurance companies. They took it out. They took it out. Here, let's have Clinton explain it to you.
Both Governor Romney and Congressman Ryan attacked the president for allegedly robbing Medicare of $716 billion. That's the same attack they leveled against the Congress in 2010. And they got a lot of votes on it. But it's not true. Look, here's what really happened. You be the judge. Here's what really happened. There were no cuts to benefits at all. None. What the president did was to save money by taking the recommendations of a commission of professionals, cut unwarranted subsidies to providers and insurance companies that were not making people healthier and were not necessary to get the providers to provide the service. And instead of raiding Medicare, he used the savings to close the donut hole in the Medicare drug program. And you all got to listen carefully to this. This is really important. And to add 8 years to the life of the Medicare Trust Fund so it is solvent till 2024. So President Obama and the Democrats didn't weaken Medicare, they strengthened Medicare. Now, when Congressman Ryan looked into that TV camera and attacked President Obama's Medicare savings as, quote, the biggest, coldest power play, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Because that $716 billion is exactly to the dollar the same amount of Medicare savings that he has in his own budget. I gotta get one thing, it takes some brass to attack a guy for doing what you did.
I'll restore that $716 billion to Medicare.
But let's talk about Medicare. What we did is we saved $716 billion and put it back, applied it to Medicare. We cut the cost of Medicare. We stopped overpaying insurance companies, when doctors and hospitals. The AMA supported what we did. AARP endorsed what we did. And it extended the life of Medicare to 2024. They want to wipe this all out. It also gave more benefits. Any senior out there, ask yourself, do you have more benefits today? You do. If you're near the donut hole, you have $800, $600 more to help your prescription drug costs. You get wellness visits without copays. They wipe all of this out, and Medicare becomes insolvent in 2016.
fraud and waste. Isn't that what you'd want to have taken out of the system? That's what we want out of the entire government. That's how you make the government smaller, get the waste out and all of the pure fraud that's happening in there. We have more fraud in the government now than we've ever had in history.
I'll restore that $716 billion to Medicare.
And yet we're going to put the same guys in place that got us there in the first place. The same guys that are even more fraudulent now than they ever were. And this $716 billion, or sometimes they say over $700 billion, it's the same number that they're talking about. But they're using it in Senate and congressional races as well. Any of those Democrats that voted for it, they want to sort of tie that to them. If they want to tie that to them, that's actually a good thing. They did a good thing. So vote for that guy, because he's doing the right thing for you. And it has been proven over and over to be totally false. Yet they know that if you hear it enough times, that you will be gullible enough. That's what they're hoping for, that you're gullible enough to start to think, well, maybe it's true. Why do you think Romney repeated it 10 times in the first debate after it had been proven false? They hadn't used it for a little bit because it had been proven false. And he brought it back because they realized it still worked. And you all believed that he won that debate with lies. What did you get, style points? Apparently his Mormon faith allows him to lie without consequence. I mean, why else would he do it? It's an out-and-out lie. Yet he said it 10 times within the debate, along with all of the other lies that we have talked about or will be talking about. But he calls himself a man of faith. Okay?
Now, the banks aren't bad people. They're just overwhelmed right now. 10,000 bucks? $10,000 bet?
You know, I think it's about envy. I think it's about class warfare. I'm not concerned about the very poor. I'm not concerned about the 95% of Americans who right now are struggling. And I'm concerned about the very heart of America. That, by the way, I'm in this race because I care about the very rich. And there's no question I'll continue to take that message across the nation.
My campaign is about the 1%. The 1%. The 1%.
I'm Mitt Romney.
And I approve this message.